After many cancellations and about 800 song choices, is everybody finally ready to begin?
Yes.
We ended up with something.
We got
It's only 11 o'clock, man.
Yeah. It's only 11 o'clock. Yeah. We're only a couple hours, or we're only an hour late,
Night's so young.
right? Usually should be 10 o'clock show, I think.
I was here by 10.
Yeah, Shazma did his
I
job.
thought I was running late, but
Yeah,
Right
Shazma
on
did
time.
his job.
Actually,
How did you
early. Bring it in, man.
Yeah,
Late.
Shazma's actually looking like he's the best prepared of everyone.
I know. It's like, fuck, when are these guys going to start?
Yeah. Why don't you guys, we should all be more like Shazma, is the
I was
lesson.
in Otterville eating chicken wings.
I'm surprised you even left.
Fucking Mike Hemilecki.
That sounds like a dream.
It does sound like a dream.
Yeah.
Tour down here. You should have brought him with you.
I asked him to come.
And well, yeah, I can imagine.
He did write a note for you. I was supposed to give it to
Oh,
you
really?
live.
Perfect.
Oh, live, really?
Yeah, I was
like
gonna
it.
wait
Oh,
till- I was going to wait till we were live.
Oh, spoiler alert. Well, you do have it's a
something.
teaser for the show.
It is a teaser.
Yeah, that's a good one.
A tickler. Even.
The other people that are listening right now are now just getting enticed. And then the music begins.
Ready, guys?
Yeah.
Well, when you left this town with your windows down and the wilderness inside, let the exits pass, all the tar and glass and the twilight skyline. Well, strangers in this town raise you up just to let you down. Oh, and your love, it's a long time coming away. And your Volvo lights lit up green and white till the city on the signs. But you held your course in some distance, whoa, in the corners of your mind. From the second time around, the only love that I ever found. Oh, and your love, it's a long time coming away. I'm homeless. I'm homeless. I'm homeless. I'm homeless.
You know, Life from the Dutch Hall, we take place here in Norfolk County's oasis, Pine Grove, Ontario.
Call that home.
And one of the beautiful parts about living in Norfolk County is the fresh country air.
Baby.
You know, the hints of wildflowers, fresh cut lawns, you know, maybe freshly cured tobacco, you know, the beautiful smells of Norfolk County.
I'm home at last.
But then you start driving north, you know, and the smells start to change a little bit. You're going to notice the smell of livestock, people. You've entered Oxford County.
Oh, yes. Our old friend.
This is a smell of agriculture that we smell here in Norfolk for about a week a year. These people live with it for the other 51 weeks. They actually store the smell for us and give it to us
Yeah.
just for that 1 week a year.
They sell it back to us
Yeah. And we'd like to thank them in Oxford County for that,
because we need it.
because we don't want it here all the time, but once in a while we like that smell. But you know what about Oxford County? They're good fans of Live from the Dutch Hall, and we got some super fans. One of them who we miss here today, but we'll give him a shout out in the inner kip, Alex Van de Vondervoort.
What up, Big Dutch?
And also we got one of the pride of Oxford County and a good friend of our show, Tyler Shazma, who's come all the way down here today.
All right.
But there's only one way to talk to this fella, and that's get this show started, and the way we do it is with a theme song.
Which one's that, Pete?
It goes like this. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Live from the Dutch Hall, the greatest podcast ever to come out of a guy's pool shed in Pine Grove, Ontario.
You got that right.
Question there.
Yeah, and we are that way because we have the greatest band in podcast history, the Nocturnal Emissions,
Hey.
comprised this week of Steve the Reluctant German on lead guitar.
Hey.
Yes, we have our band leader, Michael Bowe, on rhythm and vocals.
It's crazy.
It is just a live crowd tonight. And we have a new addition taking the place of two men in Nocturnal Emissions. We have superfan Manny Fajo who's returning to the hall.
Manny!
All
And I think he's doing a
guys.
fine job.
Just killing it on guitar over here.
And a longtime friend of the show. I think he's been, I don't know how many years he's done this for, but he's with us for a long time. And he's been we haven't seen him in a while. We miss him here.
Sure do.
Tyler Shazma is here, everybody.
Hey.
Yeah, hey.
Howdy.
And recording this for posterity, as always, is our my lovely wife, Dr. Jane Van Dyke. Oh, thank you. I just want to give her a round of applause. Beautiful. And I am your host, two-time President's Club Award winner,
Times.
Pete Van Dyke.
Hey!
You guys tried bumping the tires on that one as hard as you could, right?
Oh, man.
You really jacked it up, but it seemed like it was a bit like it almost put us to sleep. It set a mellow tone for the thing, right?
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, well, it was a tough night. People were dropping like flies. As you know, as I didn't introduce our bartender, we're running without a bartender today.
Yeah, we are.
Oh,
Yeah, and we have to
man.
maybe ask superfan Manny Fajo to pull not only the duty of just Dave Charters
And Wes.
and
And
Whiskey
Wes.
Wes Hagens, but now he's going to jump into the role of Paul Van Dyke, doing the role of three people,
Holy crap.
as no one
That's a
could.
lot.
Too much work when I come down to this Dutch Hall.
Yeah, that's right. It's not like you can just sit there and mail it in, Manny. You have real work to do here.
I'll fill in for you anytime, Pete.
Well, like as you noticed last week, if anyone listened to last week's show, they would notice that Steve the Reluctant German was not on lead guitar. We had Braden Akuman,
Oh, yes.
who did a fantastic job as
Sure
always.
did.
Nailed it.
And I gotta say, Steve, you're in Guatemala,
Yep.
right? That's where you were.
That's right.
You were like torturing the locals.
You sound like
Oh no,
that.
you were filming it. You weren't a part of it.
That's right.
You're like Himmler or whatever, just the propaganda guy for Hitler, right? Is that the guy? Or Goebbels? Which one were you? Which one are you more like? Are you more a Himmler or Goebbels?
I'm not answering. I don't-
What? No.
no.
Oh.
Like neither. Sorry.
Anyways, you're in Guatemala,
That's right.
and you listen to the show in Guatemala. I can tell. I follow my statistics,
Yeah, that's right. There were 2 listens from Guatemala.
and they're both you.
Both me.
And so you're listening to yourself being replaced perfectly, right?
Yeah.
Right, and then what are you feeling? What are you feeling at that point in time?
You know, I was happy to know that the show was going on, regardless if I was there or not. Like, it sounded great. It was a great show. It was fun to listen to.
Did you like the beginning part?
It's like nobody gets to, like, if you're in a band, like if you're in Led Zeppelin, you don't get to sit in the audience and watch Led Zeppelin, right? You're stuck on the stage forever.
I like that comparison.
What's the buzzing?
I don't know.
Is
Maybe that amp, but
that better?
I don't know.
No.
I can turn that down.
Anyway, sorry. So
hey, right back on.
you're listening to you're good. That's a mature answer. That's a very mature answer, right?
Thanks.
But is that better?
That's better.
Oh, thank God.
A mature answer that he compares us to Led Zeppelin.
Isn't that nice?
That's
If you were Led
awesome.
Zeppelin, who are you then? Jimmy Page?
No, I'm not trying to be Led Zeppelin.
Oh, okay. Sorry, say the point again. The buzzing was driving me crazy.
Sure.
Oh.
Sure, because we're way off track. So if you're in Led Zeppelin, you don't get to enjoy the Led Zeppelin experience, right? Your experience is from the stage. You don't get to sit in the audience and watch it and take it in and be like, wow, Led Zeppelin is awesome.
Oh yeah, so the show is Led Zeppelin.
Yes.
Ah, that's right. Then I'm Robert Plant, right?
Sure.
Thank you.
Dave is Peter Grant, the big fat manager.
Can I be John Bonham, please?
Yeah, you're John Bonham.
Awesome.
You die.
You're
That's
close
okay.
to death.
Yeah. That would be tragic, though, Michael.
Would
Everyone thought Charles would die first because he obviously would be the one that dies first. No, he's not. No one had Roy Halladay either. But I'll tell you, while we're on the subject of the death pool, the Lori Ball went through the death pool episode and collected all of our stats. Yeah.
great.
So she's actually taking care of it for us.
Okay, I like it.
And it is 1-1. I believe it's still 1-1.
Me and you, Pete.
Yeah. No one had Roy Halladay.
Wayne Gretzky was close, though.
That would have been a great pick, though, Roy Halladay, if he would have done it. Like, if anyone would have saw that.
That's
like
up
that would.
Charter's alley. Those are his.
Yeah, those are his
Yeah,
kind of
for sure.
picks. Yeah, everyone that's like living in the prime of their life.
He's like guy likes to fly airplanes. He's up for a real thrill. I'll take him at 40.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So, anyways, I was going to say, it's bittersweet, though. You got replaced,
Yep.
right, by a talented guitar player.
That's right.
But then, like, Wes doesn't come, and we don't replace him at all.
Yep.
So that would make him feel worse, wouldn't it?
Maybe.
Right? That they don't even need to replace him, right?
There's no bass here. If there was a bass here tonight, I probably would have played bass.
Yeah. Well, what's that saying to Wes, too? Again, he can just be replaced by someone in the band. You don't need to go external for it. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's trouble. It's what we got Charters replaced by Manny, and I tell you, it was like I don't know if Charters will ever need to come back, Manny.
Like a glass slipper.
Yeah.
It was like exactly the same.
I agree. He pulled his weight.
Yeah, that's
Unlike
right.
Charters.
Unlike Charters.
Bitch.
Yeah. By the way, while we're on the subject, I should finish your Guatemala story because I am interested in your Guatemala story. You went to Guatemala, and you were able to be there in Guatemala for the celebration of the dead.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah. The Day of the Dead.
The Day of the Dead. Sorry, the Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
Did you know the tradition behind the Day of the Dead celebration?
Not so much. Because I was in a graveyard on the Day of the Dead, but everybody was speaking Spanish, and all the songs were in Spanish, and I do not speak Spanish, and missed what the gist was.
Oh, so you don't know what's going on?
But it was a big deal. It was a big deal. Every grave had flowers on it, and then they launched this parade where they take a float, like a 50-foot float, and it's this huge, gaudy thing, and when I watched it go by, it was being carried by a bunch of old ladies who were like right into the ritual, and like for them.
No, in Guatemala, old
if it's-
ladies are their mules. Like they use because they're not good for anything else. Yeah,
That's
Strong backs.
yeah, and they're stout, right?
Yes. Anyway, I saw the parade go by 5 hours later, and the old ladies had been swapped out for younger men. So
They couldn't hack it.
probably not. The thing was huge.
But was it basically a booze fest?
Halloween was a booze fest because the Day of the Dead is a national holiday.
Oh, is the day after Halloween?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's like November 1st.
November the 1st. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And that's more of a you're remembering the people that died.
Yes.
So it's somber.
Yes. It's like Remembrance Day.
Oh, okay. But the day before is like a party,
Yeah.
right?
For sure it is.
And that was just a Halloween party.
yeah.
Like, what was that? What did they do? Dress up in costumes?
I was in like a touristy sort of area, so the main downtown and the park and all the streets leading to the central park in this place were closed off, so it was just wall-to-wall people and people finishing their beers and smashing it on the sidewalks, and people pissing all over the street and people puking and fighting, and it was crazy.
All right.
It
Were they
was
dressed
super
up in
crazy.
costumes?
About a third were.
Yeah. What kind of costumes? What was a popular Guatemalan Halloween costume?
I saw a lot of like hockey masks, so like
Jason? Oh yeah. That's
the same sort of standard stuff here. I don't know why Halloween means slutty, but Halloween
Really?
is slutty in Guatemala
Oh, yeah?
as well.
And Guatemala's slutty too, but like slutty nurses and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like that sort of stuff. Like
Yeah.
it was still like similar costumes.
Yeah.
Did you see like a
Absolutely.
Donald Trump?
I did see some Donald Trumps.
What was a popular costume this year? It would have been like
Here or there?
no, like here.
Donald Trump for sure.
This year too?
Oh,
I know last
shit,
year was
yeah.
a big year.
Uh,
But you did see those?
Yes.
Did you see like was it mostly like a monster movie kind of stuff, or was it more like
Superheroes.
scary costumes, or was it?
Yeah, it was more scary movie themed, like more gore than anything else, and then some other Spanish things that I have no idea what they were. They were just
Diablo,
Creepy.
the Spanish devil.
Oh yeah.
probably.
That old chestnut.
What's the difference between the Spanish devil and the regular devil? Do you think?
He's he's
The
even
just
hotter.
spicier food.
Yeah,
yeah.
he's even hotter.
Yeah, even hotter. But you enjoyed it,
Yeah, it was a great time.
and the country itself. What's the main difference between Canada and Guatemala?
The poor in Guatemala are dirt poor. I think the average person makes about $5 a day.
Is it really cheap to live there?
I don't know what rent and shit is like. I know beer was expensive and it wasn't cheap. It wasn't cheap living.
It wasn't cheap. Like if you went to, did everything paid for you?
Yes,
So you were just living the life,
living
and then just looking at poor people and just like sneering
feeling
at them.
superior.
Yeah.
For sure. Not at all.
Your German came out of you. It's all right. It's all right, Steve. You know, it's all right. It's who you are. It's deep within you.
Thanks.
You're reluctant German, but every once in a while it comes out.
It comes out. I can't stop it.
The rest of your life, you can feel humbled, but when you're in Guatemala and everything's paid for, you
Yeah,
can.
I'm just pimping.
Yeah,
Also
you're
look down.
Yeah, you get to be the king right
Yeah,
there.
walking around on foot.
Did you make any friends, Guatemalan friends?
Not so much. There was one woman who really wanted to sell me necklaces, and she followed me for a long.
not a friend.
long
That's not a
time.
friend.
I know it's not a friend. I get that. She was not my friend.
Okay. You didn't meet any locals or nothing?
Not really.
Are you just because you're not friendly? Or like, is it because of the same thing? Like, it seems to be coming back to the German thing, right, Mike?
I would
Oh, is
say
that what's
that's a
going on?
theme. That's
Like, do you
around
feel
the
you're superior to the Guatemalans?
Not at all.
You don't?
No, there's Guatemalans totally kicking my ass in terms of stature and everything else.
You said they were all short.
Yeah, a lot of them are. But there's
So how
still
are
like
they
tall
kicking your
rich
ass in
guys.
stature? Oh, and stature. Oh, it's stature like financial stature.
Or societal
Oh,
stature.
I thought you meant like physical stature.
No, not really.
Because you were like a giant there,
Yeah,
Right?
it was awesome.
right? You felt big.
I did.
Yeah, it's cool. I know a guy that went to Japan and he was like 6'5", and they took pictures with him. People
Yeah.
would treat him like a freak.
freak.
Yeah, and I knew a girl who's 6'1" or whatever that went there too. Same thing. People would pose for pictures with her because she was considered to be like a freakish giant.
They just
Yeah.
don't see that.
Yeah.
Well, I got paired up with a social media guy who was 6'7",
Whoa.
and it was awesome. It was
What do you mean
awesome.
paired up?
Well, everyone else was doing medical stuff, like operating on actual patients, and I was there to shoot a video that highlights
Yeah, we don't
some
care.
of what I saw, right?
Yeah.
Who gives a
Porn?
shit, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, he was there doing web stuff, so we had a lot of the same downtime. Together, so we ended up
Rubbing
hanging
butts.
out a lot. No,
Yeah,
I get
not
it.
rubbing
going
butts. No, like
Is he? So that was your friend. You made that friend.
I made that friend.
Yeah, he was a Canadian guy.
Yes, he's from London.
Do you miss him?
Yeah, I do miss him. We had
Ah.
a nice week together.
And he
Oh, that's
smelled
nice.
too.
So now you have a new friend. That's
Yeah.
good. Well, that's good. A successful week. Manny just ruined the show.
Just unplugged everything.
Be the savior to the
He's trying to be the bartender.
You know, we have a great guest here today, so we better get to him. But we need to get this segment out of the way called feedback. We got feedback.
We got feedback. It's feedback. It's motherfucking feedback.
This week's feedback is brought to you by our good friends at Clean Flow.
Yes,
And I got to tell you about Clean Flow.
Oh yeah.
please do.
we got a word from our sponsor. Our sponsor listened to the ad next week, and I know Charters is good intentioned and stuff like that, and he wants to make he realized that Clean Flow are fully behind our pursuit to go to live streaming and the video aspect of the show. So they put some money into us, and so we want to make sure that we treat them good. And so Charters is doing his best. Turns out Clean Flow didn't like it one bit.
Not even a little.
Really?
Not one bit. Our representative from Clean Flow, who I will call Mr. Clean Flow from now on, to show him the respect he deserves. Because he wasn't too happy with the nonchalant way we were referring to, this is a business relationship,
That's right.
We'll treat him like he's supposed to be treated. And then I think he was being as polite and professional as he could, Mr. Clean Flow was. But you could tell the disdain was there, that he had a B-level part of the show at being Charters,
Yeah.
doing an ad when he paid the money to have the star of the show, Pete Van Dyke, do the ad, right? So I want to apologize to Clean Flow. Now, what he did was he provided me with an advertisement that's to be read on air by myself and, in this one particular case, Dave Charters, right? I tell Dave about it. Clean Flow has provided me with the ad, and you need to show up on today's show. Charters does not show up.
Not here.
Not here at all.
Bails out.
Illness is what he said,
Douche.
which is easy to say. That's what you say when you don't want to do something, right? So Charters doesn't show up. He skirts his responsibility. Now we got a sponsor that's requesting, not like they said, they're not just requesting it. We are like servicing them. They're our sponsor. We're supposed to make them happy. They want Charters to read an ad. Charters doesn't show up, right? What are we supposed to do? So we're going to have to put it off for another week, and hopefully Charters will show up. But I'll tell you, I think I might rewrite the ad a bit
Wow.
in order to punish Charters even further. Because that's the only thing we can do.
He
should
deserves
do it.
something.
Because Clean Flow is a great product.
Sure is.
They've supported Van Dyke Party Services for a long time now.
They give us support in the Dutch Hall.
Yeah.
For
And
everything
Charters
we
has
need.
done nothing. He's not even sucked up his friggin' bullshit illness to be here. But anyways, that's I put that aside. Support anyone that's going to Clean Flow, number one. And then I also want to talk about Norpac.
The beef people.
Yeah,
Nice-
Norpac's
nice
beef
work,
people.
Paul.
They're a great Oxford County sponsor, as long as we're talking about Oxford County.
Good old Oxford.
Norpac's just a stone's throw away
Beef people.
in Norwich there. And what we want to give that. So if you're looking for some great meats there, you go over to Oxford County
The OC.
and you go visit Norpac there in Norwich,
The beef people.
and they're going to treat you right. You're not going to be disappointed, I guarantee you, because they have good.
What you're going to want to do is go and see Danusha.
Danusha's, she's going to take
Yeah,
good
she'll
care.
take care of you.
Yeah,
Up at the counter.
that's no kidding. She
No,
is
that's
terrific.
What you're going to
Yeah.
want to bring is a bunch of cash.
And we also want to thank, I guess, our only other sponsor is Yarmy Electric.
Oh, yes. Old
Yarmy
friend.
Electric. Oh my gosh, it's the time of year that we're my poor cousin Derek from Yarmy Electric is just catching his breath. Just catching his breath.
The
all
winds
his-
of winter.
Yeah, the winds of winter are coming, and all of a sudden you're going to see maybe start sniffing around, thinking about child number 5.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe
This
he's gonna go up north, go hunting for a week.
Yeah, go hunting for a week and come back with the smell of musk all over him, and think about child number 5.
Thick boners.
Think about what it means to be Derek. You know what it means to be Derek? It means to be Derek that I'm going to be a man. I'm going to do everything right. I'm going to come back. I'm going to procreate. I'm going to make babies in my wife because that's what I do.
Plant it
But-
deep.
You know what? My plans are ruined because my phone's ringing off the hook with people that are talking about their bullshit electrical problems. Well, my cousin Derek doesn't give 1-2 fucks about it. Leave the man alone. He has things he'd like to do that isn't electrical based. All right? Yarmy Electric. If we don't get it right the first time, we'll get it right the second time. And if we don't get it right the second time,
You can go fuck yourself.
please leave him alone.
Fuck off. Cunt.
That's not bad, Paul. Hey, do you do Paul?
I don't do it, Paul.
I thought Steve was going to do it.
Do you do one, Manny?
I hate that mustache.
Yeah. See, we got this is what do we have? Oh, we have to get the feedback. Sorry. I fucked feedback up last week, So this week we have to all remind me to get to the Haitian dwarf. But before we do that, every week we tell our listeners, give us a ringle dingle on all the social medias. You can you can get in touch with us any way you want to. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
The whole internet.
Live from the Dutch Hall at gmail.com. Podbean. This week there was one on Podbean.
No way.
Actually, a bunch from a new super fan. I think we have a new super fan here, and I'm super excited about it. But she reached out to us on every single source of social media, I think, in order to make sure that we knew
That's a big day.
that we were listening. Because on Podbean, on a couple different episodes, I got a message from the Second Mouse, which is a cheese shop here in Delhi.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Delightful cheese.
Oh, it's great cheese. Have you ever been in there?
They might say it's good, huh? Oh, yes. This is from Holland.
Well, anyways, we got Teresa there at this Second Mouse. She replied to us on Podbean, and she says, "Ha ha ha! So glad I started following you guys. Hashtag hilarious. Hashtag listening in Delhi." And then she went. I said, "I watched several episodes this morning and was laughing like a crazy gal in my cheese shop. LOL. Thank God no one came in and caught me. Hashtag crazy lady."
Wow.
Is her name Bree?
Another cheese joke. I don't have. You got one? Any cheese-related jokes, Shad?
I got one. What's her name?
Her name's Teresa.
Hi, Teresa. Havarti.
Oh, Steven.
You like that, Manny?
Oh, I love all of them.
You like all of those?
Oh, yeah, they're great.
I gotta think of one. It's too hard. How many cheeses are there?
It's not easy being cheesy.
Anyways, I don't know. I'll think of one later.
Grilled
We want to say.
Oh,
You want to say if you want some, you not only you have good cheese, you got good taste in podcasts,
sure do.
and also I'm going to tell you, you're the listener of the week.
You're the listener of the week. This is your week.
It's your week. Celebrate it.
Please, Teresa, have a good week. Thank you very much for joining the show. I hope you have a good time.
We like
Tell
you,
your
Teresa.
friends, and maybe, just maybe, we'll see you at Delhi at the Little Belgian on November 23rd.
Just down the
Well
road.
done.
When the Dutch Hall comedy tour is coming through Delhi, and we're hoping to do this show monthly. So we're getting excited about having a monthly show in
It's a
Delhi.
nice little spot in Delhi.
Yeah, a nice spot. And we got some a lot of comics that have been on Live from the Dutch Hall that will be doing that show. We got Ty Gray, Joe Bathello, Dan Brennan. I always say his name wrong.
Cares.
Yeah, Brandon McIntosh.
Hey.
Brandon McIntosh, who's like an international sensation in Italy.
He's huge.
They love him in Italy, eh?
I've been friends with Brandon for a decade.
Yeah.
He's huge.
They love Brandon McIntosh in Italy. That's all. I swear, all his episodes keep coming up. Italy.
Wow.
Yeah, because of that porno show that Shazma was on too.
Yeah.
Anyways, there was a guy last week we didn't talk to. Oh, sorry. And also Swazi's.
Yeah.
You know who's going to be at Swazi's?
Mm-mm.
Well, not only the Nocturnal Emissions.
Oh, yes.
Not only is it going to be hosted by Pete Van Dyke, live from the Dutch Hall.
This sounds like a night.
Tyler Shazma's going to be there.
No
Oh.
way.
Can you believe it?
No way.
And Michael Moses, and headlined by Clifford Myers out of Hamilton. It's going to be a great show.
What's the date on that one, Pete?
Oh, that's December 1st. It's a Friday, and it's only $10. It's in Waterford. It's an easy place to get to. And I know some listeners alive from the Dutch Hall showed up last time. Bailey Adcock was there, former listener of the week,
That's right.
and Sarah Bruning from
Huck Gin.
Huck Jen. Remember she was there. Like a lot of the listeners live from the Dutch Hall. It came out last week, so last time we were there. So hopefully people can do the same. 'Cause it should be an even bigger crowd. We'll have a better time, and I won't screw up Eduardo this time.
I don't know if we're going to let you play it.
I have to redeem myself.
Have you watched that yet?
No, I'm never watching it. I'm never watching a bomb.
Burn it.
All right.
We will talk about. I can't wait to talk about bombs. That was a bad one.
That was a great
We
one.
really ate shit on that one. But you know what I other ate shit on was last week. We totally forgot the listener that's been with us since the very beginning, since we started doing this 4 years ago. And he's our good friend, the Haitian Dwarf.
1, 2, 3, 4, hi ho, hi ho. It's off to bed we go.
My pepperette will make you sweat.
Hi ho, hi ho.
That was a joke because you got pepperettes last week, right?
Yeah, I got pepperettes from Sarah. Hey, did you remember? Like that was really weird in the room because
Thanks, Sarah.
we got the pepperettes from Sarah, and then somehow I made it like awkward, like we were
Wes
all
was
hot
sweating.
for Sarah, and then because we're like related to
Yeah,
her,
half the room is related.
and then Wes got all uncomfortable. You know, you're all he's
Because he was beside Charters.
he was not related to her.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is Charters is like related by marriage. His wife's related to her, right?
Close enough.
Yeah, it's close enough. His wife really doesn't approve of Dave banging anybody. She's a real stickler. A real stickler.
Jesus.
Anyway, the Haitian Dwarf last week, he gave us feedback on iTunes, as he does.
Yeah.
And he gave us 5 stars. That's the fifth one. He said, have you guys ever heard of sound check? He says, and if you're going to capture half the conversation, at least give the mic to the person who's actually funny. Which I don't know who that's supposed to offend. Was it Justin? Because we fucked up on Brett Meeser's mic, right? I had it on mute the whole time. And so, but in our headphones, it's super loud, and we can't tell, and there's a million things going on the screens. Anyways, we suck. Sorry. Haitian call us out on it, and you're right, too.
That's why we need a technical lead.
Yeah, we do need a technical lead. If anyone wants to work for free and be treated like shit, please give us an email at live
You're our
from the show.
person.
You got no bites on that last week?
No bites
No bites.
so far. I did say beer and a cheese and a meat tray at the end. If you stay to the end, if you let me throw pens at you for a full hour, I will. Anyways, Haitian Dwarf, thank you for doing that. That's it. You know, now it's time to get to our guest. He's been almost silent.
About time.
He's been silent on the microphone. Look, he's sitting here. He's been polite the whole time. Comes in early, more prepared than the band. He's a good friend of the show. He's been a judge of the mustache contest. He's in here. He's been in here in the past to promote Pop and Chip Party. He's one of the stars of the upcoming Swazi show on December 1st. He's our good friend Tyler Shazma. He's here.
Hey,
Get
howdy.
the man a jacket.
Actually, you're in here. I forgot about Whale Pranks. He was in here one time to promote, and he's always creating stuff. That's what I like about Shazma. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, fellas. It's good to be back.
He's back.
Good to be back south of Highway 3. I don't get out here too much. It's a little too sandy out here for me. You know?
Yeah,
Get in your eyes.
Oh yeah, the dirt blows in the wind here, Shazma.
That's why we need your shit.
You fertilize it.
They spread turkey shit behind my house a couple weeks ago. It was the worst. That's the worst
Oh,
of
yeah.
all shit. You get the poultry shit out there, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
real stinky.
That's hot shit.
Yeah.
It's easy to rank the shits because I worked for a company that I lent to farmers for so many years, and I would rank the shits. The best shit is horse shit. No problem at all. You can smell horse shit all day long. It's kind of nice. Kind of smells like hay a little bit. It's not like that bad. It's not unpleasant. And then you go cow shit second. It's just real manure. Like
yeah,
it's
I grew up with cow shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's you can
get used to
live
it.
in cow shit.
yeah. No, pig shit. Pig shit will like stay in your. You can taste it a bit. You know, like it's kind of stays in.
Yeah,
your,
it sits in the back of your throat a
Yeah,
bit.
it's starting
Yeah.
to burn your eyes a bit.
You can taste it.
Yeah. Pig shit. And then you go to poultry.
Chicken and turkey.
Chicken and turkeys and stuff. The ammonia is just so high in that shit, and it stinks. Now, sometimes Jane says, my wife, when you smell chicken shit outside a barn, she says it smells like sour cream and onion chips.
Oh no.
That's what you say, right?
I wish.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, kinda, but not really. But the worst shit I ever smelled, believe it or not, was either rabbits. Rabbits are the same as chickens and turkeys because it's a high in ammonia.
Yeah.
Whole barn full of
grain
rabbits.
fed.
Those
Yeah.
pebbles, eh?
Yeah, a whole barn full of.
Droppings.
Yeah, it stunk bad. Like your eyes are watering. And then the other one was like mink.
Oh, mink shit's bad.
Yeah, mink is bad too because it's like they're carnivores, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just eat like they eat all kinds of like just other gross stuff.
Are there farmers out there using human shit? Like getting it from the city, pumping it in,
Yeah.
bringing
Yes,
it back.
100%.
Yeah, there is.
I thought I heard that a
is
couple
not-
years back.
Yeah, that's not just
Yeah, yeah.
hearsay. That's true.
Yeah, they take human shit and they basically dehydrate it until it's like a sand kind of like a dirt,
Yeah.
and then they test it, see what kind of nutrients are in it, and then they sell it as fertilizer. Yeah,
But what do they do with all the used condoms that wash up in it?
yeah, I know.
They're just pulling it out of the sewer. It's all tampons and condoms.
Yeah, it's like
and,
picking rocks.
you know,
Yeah, mining for like
people's bank account information. that they're
you
fucking
legit.
up.
Yeah, you legitimately do have to sift through that shit. Like that's a gross job, man.
Man.
You know the grossest the smelliest place I ever went to was this rendering plant up in Atwood, and it smelled so bad because what they did is they took like cow hides and cow heads and stuff like that, and they would like render it down to fats, and then they would take the fats and they'd sell it to like biodiesel places, and then they would take the solids and they would use them to fuel their plant. You know, it was a really cool process. And then I actually went to a biodiesel plant too. And they would take that stuff, and one of the byproducts of what they made was jelly beans, because they sold the glycerin from it to make jelly beans.
Okay.
So that I could track jelly beans to like cow heads and the whole process. But man, that place, so you'd go in there and you could taste it for like a week after you were in there, like the smell of it all. Just death. Just animal death. Anyway,
Just a shitty topic.
So speaking about Oxford County,
no. Yeah, Oxford County, you're making the move back, Shaz.
Yeah, I'm making the trek back out of the city.
Yeah, so you were in Hamilton for a while.
Yeah, I've been in Hamilton for like 14 months, and I gotta get the fuck out of there.
now why is that, Shaz?
Cause you're just living in glorified chicken coops, you know. I'm living in an apartment building, people above me, people below me. They've been doing renovations in this apartment building for like the whole time I've been there. Just people in the city don't know how to do renovations. It's not an in and out job. They're banging hammers together for no reason. So I gotta get the fuck out of there. There's too much noise.
Because you've lived out of it.
Well, that's the thing. Is I grew up out of it,
Right.
and then I moved back. Then I went to the city.
Yeah.
And then I just can't do it. I got to be on the road, I think. I got to be moving. I like those long night drives
Yeah.
through tobacco country, you know?
It's hard.
Yeah,
when
there's
you,
something to be said about that, yeah.
It's hard when you know how much space you could have for that same amount you're paying.
Yeah.
Even
Like,
just
what
like
the fuck is this?
I like to open my front door and not see people.
Yeah.
I don't want there to be fucking people everywhere. There's so many fucking people on this planet.
Yeah.
But you can get away from them. You can pretend like they're not there. You can just walk outside, like if you move to the country. So I'm moving back to the country just to be away from people.
I don't blame you one bit. I think the city's good to go in, kind of do what you got to do, and then get
Get in and out. Fly under the radar, you know?
Yeah.
Get in, tell your dick jokes, and get out.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. Like, I know how to do that. Like, do the drive-in, spend the time, think about it, and get out.
You know what? You know what I like about you two Shaz, is that I follow you on Instagram or whatever, or like social media stuff. You're always doing stuff, eh? You're out there going for a hike or whatever.
Yeah, you gotta be. Yeah, and that's the city keeps you from you don't do anything. You just sit and look at what everyone else is doing. You gotta go do stuff. You gotta adventure. I want to see things.
Do you see a lot of Hamilton's waterfalls?
Yeah, I did all that. There's a few of them.
I didn't. Did you know Hamilton's like a city of waterfalls?
Yeah, it's the waterfall capital. There's like over 150 waterfalls.
Yeah.
But we had this one path we'd go to every once in a while, and then we went to go back there like a week ago, and there's signs up everywhere telling you where you can walk and where you can't walk, and how much there's a fine. There's a fine if you walk in. I'm like, what the fuck happened? I was here like 2 weeks ago, but some asshole got drunk and fell off a cliff, and now no one can go anywhere.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I like about here. Like, 'cause when we do stuff, we're doing stuff that like maybe like us and our neighbors do, but like not anyone else. You know, like if we're hiking through the bush here, like we're just making our own path, and doing her own like little fishing things. My brother-in-law up in Barrie does the same thing. He's just catching, just hiking through like deer paths and stuff like that, and just catching fish and stuff. And it's awesome. You just no one's doing it, and there's no rules. No one tells you what to do. You just
It's like you're a kid again.
yeah, just like being a kid.
In the
exploring.
city, they've put so many restrictions on everything, and everyone's afraid that they're gonna get hurt and stuff. But you gotta be out here and just live with that fear. Like I grew up with that shit, Like
Yeah.
I grew up riding motocross and jumping dirt bikes and jumping bicycles. Like I like to get hurt. Let me fall down and twist my ankle once or twice. You can't do that when you're sitting in a chicken coop in the city, just looking at everyone else. You're gonna roll your ankle on a curb. Like I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know where to go to get fresh air in the city. There's just factories everywhere.
Yeah, I I don't know how people can grow up in the country and then find the city life to be better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and not want to go back.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I can see doing it for a short period of time because you have to make money or whatever. But I see people that leave and they're like, this is way better. Like they like the city way better.
Yeah, there is.
They don't come back. But I don't know. I think it's too different. I hate traffic and congestion. I hate people. Like I like them on an individual basis, but on the masses, I don't like them. And even the little bit of traffic I get around here in Norfolk County is too much for me, man. Like I swear to God, like 2 or 3 cars if I have to wait.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like,
It's horrible.
I get impatient. Like let alone you go to the city.
Just trying to take another road.
Yeah, I'll drive like a few county roads out of the way just to avoid traffic.
Easily.
And plus, I like getting lost.
Oh yeah, I love the back roads.
Yeah.
I'm always on the back roads.
I hate taking the same path somewhere twice, because it seems boring, especially if it's the same place you're going all the time. I find the route to be monotonous, so I'll like take a different route, even though it's longer or whatever, just to see something different.
Yep.
And I get lost constantly with my kids all the time. They make fun of me about it because I'm not paying attention. But I get to see the county. I know a lot of back roads. My cousin's even more so. Like, he'll go every dirt road, every like.
Oh yeah, I know all the dirt roads to get from Otterville to London to Kitchener to Hamilton. That's what I did for 2.5 years doing stand up. I'd do a show an hour away and then head back at night. And I'd always take a different road, come down a back road, or
Yeah.
That's how you figure out where you live.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm really direction oriented. If I lose which way is north, I go a little squirrely. I gotta know which way north is all the time. So I can point myself in the right direction. Every road leads somewhere.
Yeah. Hey, Shaz, we were talking before the show about some of your colossal bombs, and I think it's important. I don't know if people that haven't done stand-up can understand how much we enjoy as stand-ups when you see a friend of yours bomb.
Oh, I don't enjoy it at all.
You don't? When you see a guy who knows he's telling a good joke that's worked every time, you know it's a good joke, but it was just a little off, the crowd's just off or something, and it just doesn't work. You don't take any pleasure in that? You don't think it's funny?
Nah, I feel bad for the guy because I know the joke can work, but I feel bad for him.
But what if it's just like it doesn't match up? Like if you see a guy that's doing material and the crowd's just like not that kind of crowd and you know his stuff's going to bomb, that's still got to be somewhat exciting for you to know how, like, because even the comic himself knows he's going in there to fail, like, because the crowd's shit.
Well, I like watching one of my friends know that he's bombing and then own it and either shit on the room or turn them around and get at least half of them laughing. Like Manolis Zentanos is a great guy at bringing the whole room together. Even if he's not doing well, he can bring the whole room in to getting everybody on board. I like watching a guy do that. Flip a room. Start off with the first three. Like Doug Koenig can do that too. First 3.5 minutes, not have them, but by the end, have everybody turned on their ass laughing. That's what I like to see.
Yeah. Well, that's true. I mean, I'm not saying I want to see my friends fail, but I'm saying when you see them go through a similar experience that you go through all the time, and it's their turn or whatever.
Yeah, well, the
It's
thing
funny.
is, it happens more than it's successful. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna bomb more than you're gonna do well every time.
Yeah, I don't like watching like a guy who bombs every time bomb though either. Like a guy that's just like an open micer that bombs all the time. That guy I don't enjoy. There's no humor in that.
Well, yeah, and it frustrates the fuck out of me to see a guy I know doing really good material in a room that just isn't getting it, and they're not laughing. You're like, this should be killing. I've seen these jokes kill a million times. I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
I don't take pleasure in that because I like seeing my friends do well.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're nicer than I am. I think.
I was gonna say he's got a real heart over
I'm
there.
the
Yeah, he's actually a good person. I forget that sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the I just like evil. I can't help it. I laugh. I take huge pleasure in it when someone's bombing. When I know it's a good joke and it's just that the crowd doesn't get it, it's funny to me. But I want to say you had a record at one comedy club.
I've had some crazy bombs. Like it's part of it, and I love them. I love sitting in a bomb and trying to flip the room, or just knowing that I'm going to keep doing what I do because I just plug through my material to the end. But yeah, in the Comedy Quarry in Windsor, Ontario, I have a record in that club for getting a vocal "You suck" at a Christmas party. I was just bombing, and someone like, "You suck," and I was just like, "I don't suck. That's your opinion, lady." And I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. And then by the end, I had people laughing. But now I have that record at that club, and I've done that club like 4 times in the last year. And Johnny P, the guy that runs the Comedy Core there, he'll bring me on stage by saying, "This next comic holds a record at this club," but he won't say what it is. But it's for having the only vocal "You suck" heckled at me.
I worked with you. I worked with you at one show where I heard that.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious because
where somebody told me I sucked?
Yeah, it was a shit room. Like there was an angry, the grinning gator.
Oh, probably, yeah.
And there was one old guy who was like really heckling everybody. But you get it more often, I think, than most people because. And this night, I know it was definitely this night. This is the reason was that this guy, because you're small in stature, and you're not threatening physically to the people in the audience, that they feel like they can take liberties with you. Because as soon as a big guy went on stage, the guy shut his mouth, and then a little guy would go up and he would start being lippy to him.
Yeah, that could be it. That's not even the worst one I've had. In Tillsonburg.
Good old
you know,
T-bird.
Tillsonburg.
Oh, back to the lakes.
Back to the lakes when I hear that word, you know? And I was in Tillsonburg, and I was emceeing a show for Spencer Rice from Kenny vs. Spenny, who wasn't even fucking doing comedy. He was just playing music and, you know, whatever. So I was emceeing the show, and I was emceeing, and the other acts on the show was one other comedian and like 5 local Tillsonburg hip hop acts.
Awesome.
Yes.
It's a good hip hop.
In the crowd, there was probably 3 8-year-olds, like 7 meth heads, and then just like a table of like drunk farmers. Like that was the show. And about halfway through, I got a nice vocal. You should kill yourself.
That's good.
That'll cut through you like a knife. Like I'm just trying to do my job here. Like, how often do you go to work and someone just tells you to kill yourself?
Not just I don't enjoy what you're doing right now, or it's like please stop it and stop living.
And then after the show, I'm waiting around to get paid my $25 or whatever, and my 3 beer tickets. And Spencer Rice comes over to me and says, "Don't worry, man. I tried stand up once. I know it's tough."
Made you feel all better.
Like, fuck, man, I do this every night. I'm okay with the bomb. I just want my $25 so I can go home.
Yeah. That's the worst at a show when a guy, when the host goes up after the comic and says, "Hey, this isn't easy, people," something like that. And you're like, oh, that they don't say that after you did good.
But like you were saying, times where your buddies can enjoy you bombing. I was bombing in Brampton one time. This just is making me sound like a shit comic.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about the times you killed Shaz.
I was doing a show in Brampton or Burlington or one of those fucking places one time, and it was like a bar show late at night, and there's like this drunk table, like I think it was a bachelorette party. They kept screaming about dildos or something, and there's like no real stage. It's one of these bar shows with no real stage, so I ended up on top of a table trying to yell at people so they'd listen to me, and the whole bar's got their back turned to me, and I'm trying to shout at this table, this bachelorette party, to fucking listen to me. I wasn't even doing jokes. I'm just yelling at people at this point. And it got to the point where I fucking just fucking booted some chick's whiskey glass, spilled whiskey all around. I'm fucking done here. You guys got my 7 minutes. I'm out of here.
Oh, really?
Go get my free chicken wings and go home. So I've gotten angry a few times at crowds, but whatever.
I got angry once at a guy for... It wasn't that his cell phone went off, because, like, everyone's cell phone goes off. I know people have like kids at home and blah blah blah, and you forget to turn your ringer off. It's like some comics get mad at that. I won't get mad at that. But this guy took the call and then talked full voice and didn't move. Like he didn't. Like you could have took a couple steps out of the room. You know, like try to go. He just stood where he was standing, had headphones in, and he's just talking full fucking voice. And I was like, I lost it. I was just like. What the fuck is wrong with you, you know? Like, and just I really felt like I left myself for a minute, and I just fucking tore that guy apart.
Yeah, like that time I kicked that girl's whiskey glass. That was when I got off stage and all my buddies were high-fiving me because they thought it was hilarious, right? But I don't know.
Sometimes you see a moment like that, and it's really like makes a memorable night.
Well, that's
and
when it's for the comics, you know. That's for the comics.
Well, sometimes it's for the audience, though. If the rest of the room is mad at that same person, you know, because they wanted to see a good show too.
No, they were on her side. They were.
Oh,
the whole bar was pretty upset. I kicked that whiskey glass over.
Well, that one is for the comics, then. Yeah, that one's definitely just for the comics.
But it's like, it's the only fucking thing on like you don't see people throwing drinks at Sam Roberts.
No. And even if they played a song, you'd have to really play bad. Like, you'd have to be off the rails as a...
Yeah.
I got fucking ice thrown at me. Not even for doing stand-up, just for dancing like an asshole at a bar a couple weeks ago. I was sober as a quail, just dancing, just throwing my arms in the air, and some guy threw ice at me. You know, people just think they can take things into their own hands sometimes, and I worry because when I'm doing stand up I'll say anything, and I've had people try to rush the stage or get mad at me and try to confront me afterwards, and I don't remember what I said to you.
Oh really?
Yeah, I know. I've had people come out like, you shouldn't have told my wife to fuck off. Your wife probably needed to be told to fuck off. It's probably bothering me.
Yeah, I haven't had anything like that yet.
I don't know.
I haven't angered anyone, I guess.
I like doing these bar shows and right now where I am in this fucking marathon game of stand up, whatever it may be, I'm at the point now where this is all just experience. Like, go out and do these shitty bar shows and try to make people laugh at me right now. Because it builds your little hair on your back, you know?
Yeah,
Some
definitely.
Skin on your back. You take any kid out of fucking Toronto or some kid doing their safe space rooms, and you go throw them in a fucking bar in Tillsonburg with some farmers telling them to kill themselves. They're have a fucking anxiety attack, you know?
Exactly. I have that's the point of stand-up, is that I think the point of it is that's why I always liken it to wrestling, you know, because you do have to go against people a lot of times in these rooms, these shitty rooms that you play, where you are against the audience. Like, they hate you before you ever started. They don't want to watch comedy at all. It's being thrust upon them. They're just like drunks at a bar that want to drink. They don't want to listen to some guy talking about his dick for 5 minutes, right? So they hate you, and you have to win them over. And that's the challenge, like, to be able to go in there and like change a person's opinion, or get a guy that hates you to laugh at something. Then you know the joke's good. Like, you're like, this is going to test it. It's like if you had to make a person who hates music tap their toe, by playing a song, you just keep working it until they start tapping that toe,
Yeah, like I don't like those rooms. Like I don't seek out these terrible rooms. I'd rather do nice, cushy rooms or clubs where people are listening and stuff. But I'd rather right now go fucking learn in these fucking rooms how to do well in those cushy rooms.
Yeah.
Learn it's like herding sheep,
Yeah, but you're not. I don't think you're not gonna be as good in those cushy rooms unless you've played the shit rooms first.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, because you have to have those thick jokes that are gonna be able to kill in a good room, because you've made them good from playing those shit rooms.
Yeah, and it's all about connecting with people, and you're gonna have an easier time doing that, or you're gonna have more skill at doing that if you're doing it with people that don't want to listen to you.
Yeah. Because it really does make you better. Shazma, I wanted to, before the show's over here, I just wanted to mention your documentary, The Couch.
Couch Named Desire.
The Couch Named Desire, yeah. The Couch Named Desire. How do people see that documentary? Because it's really, I haven't heard any bad things about it. I've only heard rave reviews.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun to make. You can find it on YouTube/official whale pranks. It's on there, and it's a simple documentary about a boy and his couch, and it's really about love and loss, and letting go, of a piece of furniture that you've had attached to you for 28 years, and it's about saying goodbye,
And I don't want to give away the highlights of the movie, but I just want to say that as a guy growing up in the country, I've been at a lot of bush parties where we burnt couches, and there's nothing like burning a couch.
No, and I grew up the same way, burning couches.
It's the best.
Yeah.
When you're at a bush party and all of a sudden everyone's sitting on a couch by the fire, and you're like, yeah, this is gonna be a nice night. We can sit on this couch by the fire, but this couch is going on the
At the end
fire.
of the night, there's fuckers
around 1:30 a.m. That someone's picking that couch up and throwing it on.
And that's what happened at Bush Talk.
Yeah, I know.
It
was perfect, and that's why Ryan said that he was totally for your movie. Shazma, tell Shaz the story because he's gonna ask his opinion.
Yeah, so instead of a couch, it was a one of those big spools that people use as like.
They're like spools for hydro.
Yeah,
Spool?
the big
Yeah,
wire
it's sitting
spools.
right next to the fire, and it's 1:30, 2 a.m., and the fire's going down.
Now all over the music festival, they're using these things as tables.
Yeah.
But there's one of these things that's right by the firewood, right by the communal fire, and it's 1:30.
It's on the fire every time.
There you go.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
So Mike and his buddy roll the thing into the fire where everyone's gathered around the big fire,
Because there's no couches.
and they throw it in the fire, and then the rest of the crowd starts fucking booing them, and they're really turned on him. And then other people pushed it out of the fire and started saying they're disrespecting the host and ruining the whole
Oh,
event.
fuck that.
Yeah, it was wood.
Anything flammable after 1:30, it's game.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed at a lot of places because I light fire's too big. Even just your firewood, you got a wood pile, you got 2 cord of wood you think's gonna last you the summer. I'll have her gone. I'll have her gone in a night. Like,
Yeah.
There's nothing better than a nice burn at 2 in the morning.
I remember once
Couches are the best.
throw a couple skids on. Let's go.
Oh,
For it.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
skids, nice. Couple nails.
I remember one time we were at this. We would get sent away once a year with my old job. Oh shoot! We would send away once a year with my old job for this corporate retreat up in the Muskokas or whatever. And on the in the beach, they had a little beach, and they had wood there, so you could set it for your own fire pit, right?
Yep.
So we were like, we're gonna burn all their wood. Like we're gonna find every piece of wood they have on the resort, and we're gonna burn it, right? And so we just we made the biggest fire in the history of fires, I think. On this thing, and then this guy I work with, this old guy. He's an old dairy farmer. I call him old. He's older than me, and he was he kept trying to get people younger employees to jump the fire. He'd be like, "Come on, stop being a pussy, jump the fire," And then they would be like, no, we're not jumping the fire. The thing's huge. It's like, right? This guy's probably 50 at the time or whatever, man. Anyways, I remember the one girl goes to him like, hey, Tom, can you hold my beer? And then I got to tie my shoes. And he's like, can't do it now, honey. And just starts running. Jumps the fire. His toe hits the top of the pile, and he falls, and kind of like he rolls afterwards. As he's rolling, he's like, you can hear me yelling, I told you, fuckers, right?
He's burning.
Well, he wasn't burning, but he got tripped up. But he did it, Like he was so happy. And then they sent these two newfies that worked at the resort to come put out the fire, the people that ran the resort, because it was dangerously big, and we were starting to jump it. They said as soon as they saw the guy jump the fire, all the security came in to start putting it out.
Yeah.
And then we were just battling it. So the guys would go into the lake and grab buckets and then dump buckets on our fire, and then we would stoke the fire and fan it while they were doing it. And then afterwards, we saw those guys at the bar, and they were like, we went up and said, sorry, guys, we were just fucking with you when we were doing that, drinking and stuff. And they're like, oh, boys, we felt fucking terrible doing that to you, He goes, you guys are having a good time, and we had to go fuck it up for you. We felt awful, right?
Nothing like a good fire.
Yeah, nothing like a good fire, right? Anyways,
Throw a couple of skids on it.
Love fires.
Yeah. I have a fire pit in my side yard, and we burn stuff from now and again. You ever had a bacon fry, Shaz?
Oh.
Salinishitesh?
Bacon fry.
Yeah, it's a Hungarian thing. You know any Hungarians?
No, not really.
Yeah. The Dutch, generally they don't, the Dutch and Hungarians don't cavort. They keep their distance from one another, except for the case of my mom and dad, where they fuck like crazy.
It's some sort of Salinishitesh.
It's totally. Well, it's you cook a bacon on the fire. So you make a fire, and then when it burns down to nice coals, you take a piece of slab bacon, put it on a stick, and then you kind of slice it so that it's hanging there diced on the rind, and then you kind of roast it on the fire, and then you have a piece of bread that you put onions and peppers and tomatoes, and you just you squeeze the grease on the bread until it becomes soaked with bacon grease. And then you roll it up and you eat it.
Sounds like the best thing ever.
Yeah, it's just
I've never
the
had
bread is so saturated with bacon grease, and then you cut the bacon off. You put it on that, so it's like a BLT, but it's I like to toast it on the fire too. I put it on my sticks, which isn't Hungarian. The traditionalists they think I'm fucking their whole culture up.
But there's no actual bacon
Just
on this.
soaked
It's
in
just
grease.
the grease of the bacon.
No, you'll cook the bacon and slice the bacon too.
Okay.
But while you're cooking the bacon,
Grease drips
you don't
on.
want to waste that grease, so you drip it on the bread.
Oh, it's
And
so
then when the
smart.
bacon's cooked, you slice the bacon off, put that on the bread. Already the tomatoes, onions are kind of cooked down from the hot bacon.
Salinishitesh.
A nice way to spend a couple hours just cooking a piece of bacon on a nice summer's day.
can't
Oh, I
wait to
love a
experience it.
salinishitesh. Yeah, if you haven't done it, you got we have bacon in our freezer, Mike.
I think the Dutch Hall needs to have a salinishitesh.
Yeah, we do. We've been promising you and Kelly
I can't
salinishitesh.
wait for it.
Tyler, go start a fire, man. We got to make
let's
some of this
get
stuff.
A fire
man.
going. Actually, yeah. Speaking of meat, I went for chicken with a fan of the show before the show, and I have a note for Mike here.
Oh.
Oh, this is it. Oh, we did
Special
promise our
announcement.
fans at the very beginning.
It's only for shareholders.
Can you grab that, Mike? Oh, good toss.
Great throw. All right, I'm going to
Maybe you
can read this on air?
Maybe you can explain that.
Dear Bo, please don't eat any Black Forest ham sandwiches. Love, Big M. Good friend of mine back in the college day. Well, he's still a good friend of mine. But we lived together in college, and he's referring to me just letting the old lunch meat go to waste in the fridge, eh? Bunch of guys living together.
Oh,
Not that good of a joke.
You're a sour ham guy.
Yeah.
Sour ham.
You didn't give me any explanation.
What, you wouldn't eat? Would you eat the ham?
No.
Oh, you'd let it go to
No.
waste.
No.
Oh, yeah.
These guys from Norwich, though, eh?
They don't like it. Waste meat. You don't waste
They
meat.
get pissed off when you buy a big lump.
That
of
stuck
meat.
with him for that long?
Yeah, he's mad at me.
You're gonna
for it.
Hey, who's this guy? Is he a Dutchman?
Oh no.
No?
No, he's a Polak.
Oh, Polacki.
You don't want to be wasting meat.
One of those.
You're Polish.
He's ashamed of me.
They love meat, those Polish.
Oh yeah, they'll grind that up and throw it in a pierogi.
That's what he was saying to me.
Yeah.
Dutch are wasteful.
Oh man. Yeah, but the Polish will eat things that will poison them because they're too stupid, right? It's like the Dutch are cheap. We will eat that thing as long as it won't kill us. But when we're smart enough to know not to eat it,
Yeah.
that's where
Then
the
we throw it
Polacks
out.
keep eating.
He would hold a grudge about sour meat.
Yeah, he would. Not a good roommate.
That is That is a really obscure thing to write a note and send to you. That has nothing to do. Like,
Really odd.
He just said he will know.
You will know.
That's how you know it's a good friend.
I was a wasteful lunch meat buyer back in the day.
Really let it go. He's too busy
He
drinking.
nailed you.
You let those $3 bags go to waste.
Bologna.
Oh man, wasteful baloney.
Wasted balloon.
Is that the name of the episode?
Wasted meat.
Yeah, wasted Bologna.
Wasted baloney. Wasted meat.
Shazma.
Shazma.
All right, well that's our show this week.
What already?
Yeah,
That was a quick one.
yeah, it was just a nice little chat with Shaz.
There you go.
It's like easy peasy lemon squeezy when we have down Shazma.
He's got to be the most frequent guest of all time, no?
Yeah, but it's been a while.
It has been a
been
while.
too
There's
long.
been a couple people catching up for
Yeah,
sure.
so I'm back in the area now. I'm 15
Yes.
minutes north, so
The
I'll
guy
be,
needs a jacket.
I'll be around.
Yeah, we gotta get a Shaz
Some
a
sort of
jacket.
cloak when he comes in.
But I'll see you guys December 1st, right?
December 1st
right.
at Swazi's. And if you can't make it to Swazi's, then you can always come out to see us at the Little Belgian on November 23rd. But again, Swazi's on December 1st. And I always like to give Swaz a big shout out because he runs a good place there and everyone should help him out. And also, you know what? Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, all that bullshit. Give us some feedback. Live from the Dutch Hall at gmail.com. And support our sponsors, Clean Flow, Norpac, and
Beef people.
and
Cunt.
the Army Electric or Amazon.
Go fuck yourself.
Other than that, we'll see you NT. See you next Thursday.
Beat it.
I was bad on the slapper all day. I just couldn't. I don't know if my hand-eye coordination's off.
It's cold in here.
Yeah, it is cold in here. Turn the
Oh,
heat
is
on.
that why I got to piss so bad?
Anyways,
Heater
good.
back on.
Thanks, guys.
Laughing so hard.